Welcome in, Ravenwood Raptors football fans. I'm Paul Hickey. We have another great broadcast planned for you tonight as your 6-0 Ravenwood Raptors host the 3-2 Independence Eagles from Thompson Station visiting the Nest at Brentwood. And I'm excited to be here with you tonight. We just had the national anthem and the colors, and the captains are making their way to midfield for the coin toss. Tonight's captains for your Raptors: Davis Dolan, senior running back; junior defensive back Dallas Stallings; senior offensive lineman Scott Duthie; and senior wide receiver Jake Bone taking the field. Your Raptors sporting the black jerseys with gold numbers and gold pants. Pretty cool combination for tonight's game. We're going to go down to the field for the audio of the coin toss before I introduce a very special guest analyst for tonight's game. See if we get some audio from the official here. Looks like there's no audio from the official. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our special guest analyst for tonight's game, Ryan Fowler. He played in the NFL for 6 years, Cowboys, Titans, Jets. And believe me, folks, when I tell you, he has a wealth of experience working with young athletes. And I know I'm going to have a good time with you tonight. So, Independence Eagles take the field. Again, Paul Hickey, Raptors Football Network. Big shout out to Patton Cook. We've come a long way. Now we got Ryan Fowler with us. Very excited. Ryan, as we await the opening kickoff here, your thoughts so far just on this Raptors football season, 6-0?
Well, I got to tell you, at the beginning of the season, it wasn't clear how good this team was going to be. There was some questions about the offensive line. There were some questions about the secondary. And as it's turned out, they have been growing every week and remain undefeated, which is actually, I think they're really through the toughest part of their regular season schedule. So I think this bodes well for them. I wouldn't be surprised to see them finish this season undefeated and go into the playoffs with home field advantage.
Yeah, Independence tonight at Shelbyville after the fall break. So that'll be Friday, October 17th. And then Coffee County Central at home on October 24th. The big rivalry the day before Halloween, which will be Thursday, October 30th at home against Brentwood. So definitely an exciting season so far. 2 overtime wins. I will say I think we're all a little surprised at the 6-0 record. Not that it wasn't possible, but it's just so hard to do it, let alone do it back-to-back seasons.
Absolutely.
Carlos's kick, he's been money, and that's through the back of the end zone for a touchback. So, Ryan, Independence is going to take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. They're led by junior quarterback Matthew Horner, running back Eli Garlington, wide receivers Hunter Mullen, Hendrix Harvey are seniors, George Marbury is a junior, and Jordan Gray, senior wide receiver. So the Eagles take over 1st and 10 here. Start of the first quarter. Horner in the gun. He's got 3 wide receivers and Garlington behind him. And pre-snap whistle here, Ryan. What do you think they're calling here?
I think this is going to be an offensive false start. The reason is because they called encroachment. So Independence is known for doing this. It's called the Dallas shift. Right before they snap the ball, all of the linemen will stand up and then quickly shift into a 3-point stance. Oftentimes that draws the defense off sides. It seems like it worked here.
All right, so it's going to be 1st and 5 from the 25 of the Eagles. Got a man in motion here, and the handoff is to Garlington. He's left side for a couple. So ball's going to be spotted just short of the marker. It's going to be 2nd and 1 from the 29.
Yeah, we don't see an opportunity here for any sort of substitution. They didn't, and we don't have time. So this is going to be, well, they have a 1st down mark.
Yeah, it looks like, there we go.
There we go.
2nd and 1.
You got to imagine they're going to take a shot down the field here. That's typical of a 2nd and 1 because they know they have 3rd down. They do a screen instead.
Horner on the screen. This looks like it's to Garlington for a 1st down. So Independence moves the chains. Ryan spot on there with the pass play on 2nd and 1. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Eagles. 11:08 to go first quarter. Raptors defense, Sam Rowan, Sutton Gutting filling in for injured Lucas McCullum, Nathan Moser, Danny Brown, Hudson Husak, Grant Lucas filling in, unfortunately, for an injured Peyton Husak. Then we got Matt Anderson, Jalen Pollard, James Nelson, who had a heck of a game last week, Ryan, and Wyatt Appleton to start for the Raptors. So on first down there, I believe Garlington picked up 4 yards, so it's going to be 3 yards, so it's going to be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, it was just a simple duo play. They got double teams on 2 of the defensive linemen and hoped to find a crease somewhere, and they found a soft spot and picked up a few yards. You know, going back to James Nelson, what a game he had last week in a tall order, having to cover one of the best receivers in the state.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he did more than just that key interception. He was definitely shutting down the Bama commit from last week, and it looks like Horner completes the pass. So Indy moves the chains again. And Ryan, this isn't something we typically see from the Raptors defense. 2 first downs right off the bat here for the opponent.
Well, you know, if I'm looking back on the season so far, they seem to be more of a second-half team. You know, the first game of the season, they looked like they were down by a couple of scores and fought back to win that game. I'm not worried at all. They just got to settle in here.
Horner in the gun on 1st and 10. Ball at the 48. 9:43 to go first quarter. Man in motion. Horner hands to Garlington again, and this time the Raptors defensive line, along with linebacker Danny Brown on the outside, there to make the stop.
You know, that's a play that Indy has been known for over a decade. With Scott Blade coming back as their head coach, they used to run this play to perfection. It's just a counter OT. They pulled both the backside guard and tackle, try to get extra blockers on the other side. Danny Brown does a nice job of spilling it and making the play.
2nd 10, 4 wide receivers, man in motion. And Horner back to pass, and he has nobody, and he's taken down. That's Sutton Gutting and Sam Rowan. Sam Rowan got there first. Senior defensive lineman, big leader on this team, Ryan. That's a clutch sack on 2nd down, loss of 1.
Yeah, Sam has had an incredible year. This guy works really hard all year and in the offseason, probably harder than anybody else I've seen. And speaking with Andy Elrod, the defensive line coach, the CPA offensive coordinator last week, had a lot of great things to say about Sam and really the whole defensive line.
3rd and long, 3rd and 11, corner back to pass, and he's hit by Jalen Pollard. Ball comes loose, and it's incomplete.
Boy, it's too bad we don't have a replay on that. I'm not sure his arm was moving forward.
No kidding. That was close. That was close. And a blitz, if I'm not mistaken, from the safety position there. Jalen got there quick.
Yep.
4th and 11. Clock stops. 8:22 to go first quarter.
You know, I've been a little surprised that the special...
I believe 7.5 minutes to go first quarter. No score here. What'd you see there, Ryan?
Well, you know, on that, it's key for the receiver out there to get a block on the corner, and it looks like the corner just sort of beat Cruz Kelly to the punch, and he never had a chance to block him. So it makes it real difficult to run those screens if you don't get the block on the corner.
Okay, 3rd and 7 here, and, you know, Mav can pick it up with his feet, but it's traditional passing situation. Mav back to throw, and he's got Cy wide open. Cy drops it. Incomplete. Did he underthrow him just a tad there, or was Cy just way ahead and had to come back? What happened there?
Oh, he underthrew him 100%. Cy had the whole defense beat. The ball hung in the air a little bit. He had to wait for it to come down, and sometimes those are the hardest ones to catch when you have too much time to think about it. Still should have been caught, but here we go, 4th down.
Defensive back Landon Greathouse got there to break up the play. 4th and 7, 7 minutes to go first quarter, ball on the 22, and Jack Henderson, who's done a really nice job this year, trying to flip the field and put the defense in a good position with a decent punt here into Eagles territory, fielded at the 38. And here comes the Raptors defense again. And like you said earlier, Ryan, moving the chains shouldn't be anything to worry about. The Raptors have won in many different ways already this season. We've seen some blowouts, but we've also seen, like you said, some second half stands from this defense.
Yeah, well, the strength of this defense has really been its red zone defense. And so it's a bend, don't break type of mentality. And, ooh.
Horner has a man across the middle. And this is Hunter Mullen, the senior wide receiver. That's going to be a gain of 6. So it's going to be 2nd and 4. 6:35 to go first quarter. Paul Hickey and Ryan Fowler with you from Brentwood, Tennessee. Raptors hosting the Independence Eagles. Raptors 6-0, of course. Eagles are 3-2. Matthew Horner, the junior, looks good so far. 2nd and 4. Horner hands off to Garlington. Garlington up the middle. He's got about 10 yards and a Eagles first down. Junior Eli Garlington. And he's brought down by Sutton Gutting there. And we're going to get a sub, Connor Shave, in the game at linebacker for the Raptors, along with defensive lineman Xander Johnson. Ryan, talk about real quick the importance of some of these guys that don't get to play that often. When they get some reps in some of these blowouts, I think it actually helps us quite a bit.
Yeah, no question. I think last year they could have done a little better job of rotating some of the players to get them more experience, because obviously the more depth you have, the safer you're going to be with injuries and things like that. And inevitably you're going to have injuries as the season goes on. So by virtue of having some blowout games this year, we've gotten a lot of reps for the second and third team, and that should bode well again going into the playoffs.
Horner's pass on first down, incomplete, intended for Hunter Mullen. So it's going to be 2nd and 10, 5:43 to go, clock stopped. Horner drops back to pass. He has 4 wide receivers. He's looking over the middle, and it's almost picked off.
Yeah, he had
broken up by Pollard.
He had 3 wide open on that and just missed the throw, and then Pollard missed the ball right in his chest. He wants that one back, I'm sure.
So it's 3rd and long, though. 5:37 to go. The Raptors can get another stop here. It's looking like they're going to get the ball back.
Expect a blitz here, Paul.
All right, let's look for it.
We want that ball to come out quick. I would expect someone to blitz here, maybe Matthew Anderson off the edge.
Horner back to pass.
They don't.
He's got time, and he looks over the middle, and it's caught. This is Jordan Gray for a first down to the 28-yard line, taking down Connor Shave and Jalen Pollard. He had a lot of time to throw there, Ryan.
Yep, and they didn't blitz. I figured philosophically that would be a good position to blitz in. 3rd and 10, you want that ball to come out quick so the receivers don't have a chance to move down the field. He sat back there all day and was able to deliver a good strike.
Nice pass by Horner. 5:11 and counting in the first quarter. 1st and 10 from the 29 of the Raptors. Independence threatening to get into the red zone here. Horner hands off to Garlington. Garlington up the middle. Strong runner. Stopped after 6. We'll see where they spot the ball here.
Indy's run game has been pretty successful thus far. I wonder if we'll be able to make some adjustments to shut that down. You know, that time they brought a blitzer off the edge, and a lot of times you get gashed right up the middle when you bring that blitz off the edge.
Yeah, the defensive line has been stout all year. Nathan Moser has done a really nice job filling in for a couple of injured players week in and week out. 2nd and 4. 4.5 minutes to go first quarter. Horner looks to his left, has a man for a first down. That's Gray again. Gray seems to be one of his favorite targets early on here. And Independence moves the chains now into the red zone. Ball at the 16.
You know, that's just an easy decision right there for the quarterback. He looks out, he sees soft coverage on the corner. The corner is playing way off the receiver. Just flip the ball out there and let him see what he can get.
Sawyer Akers now in the game for Connor Shave. And ball on the 15. 1st and 10, Indy. 2 wide receivers right, 2 wide receivers left. Garlington to Horner's left, and the handoff is to Garlington again. And he's seemingly picked up about 4 or 5 yards on every single play tonight so far.
Yeah, I don't think they've had any, or at least not, again, not typical for the Ravenwood defense. Typical for the Ravenwood defense. Doing a good job running the ball and picking up the blocks they need to pick.
3:20 and counting. 2nd and 6 now. Still in the first quarter, no score. Horner gets the play from the Indy sideline. 3 wide receivers for Horner. Garlington in the backfield. Sends a man in motion. That's Mullen. Handoff is to Garlington again, and this time we've got several Raptors in on the play. Grant Lucas got there first. Jay Little, also backup defensive back, has played more and more throughout the season. He played quite a bit at MRA the first week, and Jay in on the stop as well. So it's going to be 3rd and long, 3rd and 8 from the 13. 2.5 minutes and counting towards the end of the first quarter here. 4 wide receivers. Garlington behind Horner in the shotgun. Horner back to pass. Looks right. And it's picked off. This is Nelson again. James Nelson, we talked about him earlier in the broadcast. An interception last week against CPA and another interception here out to the 30. Putting the Raptors offense in good position here. 2:06 to go first quarter. Loving James Nelson right now.
Yeah, James did a great job right there just reading the quarterback's eyes. He saw the route, he jumped it, never had a chance. He's really having a great couple of weeks. Last week was probably his best game in the season, and he's picking up right where he left off this game.
You know, James was injured last season. He also was behind Donovan Starr, Mr. Football, now at Auburn. And all the Raptors knew it, that he had the potential to do what he's doing this year. It's not really surprising the coaching staff. It's not really surprising his teammates. It's just good to see it happen. You mentioned 7-on-7 earlier, Ryan. You and I were fortunate enough to spend some time with a lot of these guys in 7-on-7 back in March and April, and James was out there, and he's a leader. His teammates really respect him.
Yeah, James will take over play calling duties for me anytime I relinquish it. He likes to control the defense out there, and that's actually been, maybe part of the problem with him in the past. But he's really stepped into more of a leadership role this season. He understands he has to play within the confines of the defense as the coach wants it, and not just sort of be a cowboy. And it's really paying off.
Yeah, and that's hard to do. To understand defense at this level, at this age, very, very hard to do. And we had an injury timeout on the field. Independence. It looks like Cannon Blaylock, the junior offensive and defensive lineman, is being assisted off the field. 2:06 to go first quarter. Now we see Femi Babalola at quarterback. His running back is Caden Pace right now. 4 wide receivers out there for the Raptors. Time to get something going offensively here.
Yeah, you can tell I'm ready. I stood up.
3 wide receivers to Babalola's right. Cy Longley to his left. Pace to his right in the shotgun. Femi back to pass on first down. And he looks to Caden. It's tipped. Broken up by Independence Bryson Sawyers. The sophomore defensive end got a hand in there. Caden running a route out of the backfield over the middle, not something you typically see for this Raptors offense.
Yeah, good job by the defensive lineman getting his hands up there. Sometimes you can't get penetration. All you can do is get your hands up.
Jared Peterson, Tay Vaughn, Gavin Macias, and Longley. Femi looks to Cy again. Has him. It's broken up, though. Femi let it hang out there. It was on the money, but it was just up there a little too long, and Brody Bullock, the safety, broke it up.
Yeah, you're looking for the hole shot there. It's cover 2. You've got the corner pressed up. You figure you can throw the ball in the gap between the corner and the safety, but that ball has to come out a little quicker, otherwise it gives that safety time to come over.
Tavon and Gavin Macias are the slot receivers, and Cy Longley near side, Jared Peterson far side. Pace in the backfield still. Babalola here on 3rd and long, drops back to pass. He has time, and he looks over the middle. Intended for Gavin, but high and incomplete. So it'll be 4th down, 1:47 to go in the first quarter. No score. Jack Henderson will come out and punt again.
Indy's defense really, really impressing so far early in this game. I didn't think they'd be able to stop them quite so easily. That pass, I couldn't tell who that was to. It looked like there were two receivers right in the same vicinity.
Yeah, Femi obviously an extremely talented player. This is not one of Jack's best punts, and it takes an Indy bounce. I mean, in total here, that's going to be about a 10-yard punt.
I believe.
And, sorry, what were you going to say there?
I think even it was a 10-yard punt, but it's a net 1-yard punt from where the ball was spotted.
From where the ball was spotted,
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. So Indy will have amazing field position, unfortunately. Ball on the 33-yard line. So from where Jack punted it, it was a 10-yard punt, but Ryan correct on that one. From the line of scrimmage, net about a yard, and Raptors defense takes the field. Bates Benton now in the ballgame. He was a sophomore defensive lineman, so definitely not as deep as we normally are on the defensive line. And this is a designed run play out of the shotgun for Horner. First time we've seen him run the ball today. He picks up 3, maybe 4. 90 seconds to go, first quarter. And he picked up 1. So clearly my eyesight not the best. 2nd and 9.
Yeah, it was a surprising play. I don't know why they decided. Horner is not really a runner. He's more of a gunslinger. They were having a lot of success early using the running back. I imagine they won't come back to that anytime soon.
If you're just joining us and you hear some intelligent football knowledge coming out, that's Ryan Fowler. I'm Paul Hickey. Horner back to pass, and it looks like it was almost picked off again. Jalen Pollard breaks it up, intended for Hunter Mullen.
Great job by Jalen there, just playing through the hands. Sometimes the receiver's body is shielding you from the ball, which is what happened in that case. So he just put his left hand through the hands of the receiver, denied the pass. Great job.
He is so fun to watch, along with several other Raptors, of course. I mean, Matthew Anderson, another favorite. Jalen Pollard, just so fun to watch. And 56 seconds to go in the first quarter. 3rd and 9, Indy from the Raptors 32. Horner back to pass. He has a lot of time again, but great coverage by the secondary. Horner's going to escape the pocket, pick up maybe 8 as he slides. I think he's short of the first down there, Ryan.
Yeah, I think he's about 2 or 3 yards short. He started his slide way before actually 4 yards short.
Yeah, look at that spot.
And
so it's 4th and 4.
And that's what I would have expected to see on the last 3rd down and long as a blitz. We don't want to give him a lot of time to sit back and pick us apart.
4th and 4, Eagles. Horner looking over to the Indy sideline to get the play. 3 wide receivers on the right side, 1 on the weak left side. Garlington, who's played very well in the backfield. No score, and the first quarter is going to come to an end, I believe. So this will give Indy more time for a decision, Ryan, as they flip the field?
Yeah, I think they never had a play called there. They were trying to draw us off sides, and then we're happy to let the clock run down and then get back together and come up with a plan for this next down.
All right, so there's technically still 5 seconds left to go in the quarter. So there was a timeout called. I apologize. I thought they were going to let the clock run out on the first quarter, but we have a timeout on the field.
That's a surprise to me, Paul. I would have thought they would have let it run out too and not have to waste the timeout.
Yeah, so they only have 2 left for the half now. And timeouts last week, Ryan, actually came into play. They haven't much of the season or last season at all for Ravenwood, to be honest. But timeouts with CPA came into play a little bit with Ingle Martin.
Yeah, I think anytime a game's that close, the timeouts are going to be a little bit more a factor.
All right, so we're back here after the quick timeout. 4th and 4, 5 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Paul Hickey and Ryan Fowler with you on the Raptors Football Network. I'm pumped to have Ryan with us. It's been fun already. The first quarter has been fast because there haven't been any scores. And Indy in a run formation here, but QB keeper and Horner, who's lengthy, just basically used his body to stretch out and pick up about 5 or 6 yards there.
Yeah, good tough run. I think the refs missed the false start, but I don't think it really mattered for the outcome of the play.
So it'll be 1st and 10, and now the end of the first quarter. So Ryan Fowler and I will be back with you in a little bit for the start of the second quarter as we flip the field 0-0 here at the Nest. Start of the second quarter, Paul Hickey and Ryan Fowler with you on the Raptors Football Network. Independence Eagles have the ball, 1st and 10. Ball on the 21-yard line. Matthew Horner, the junior quarterback, has the Eagles threatening to be the first on the board here, and it looks like the Raptors may have jumped off sides. Encroachment on the Raptors, so it'll be 1st and 5. Ball now on the 16-yard line. And again, Bates Benton, the sophomore defensive lineman, checking in the game for the Raptors. So that defensive line, less experienced than normal with Lucas McCollum out. And this is Horner, has Garlington, and Garlington is hit slightly after the play by Jalen Pollard, and flags are thrown. A lot of laundry on the field right now. Ryan, what'd you see there?
Well, okay, so 20 years ago this wouldn't have been a penalty, but Jay Little saw the pass. He came up and he led with his elbow to the face, and that's going to get called every time now. That is technically a targeting of sorts.
Okay, so it was Jay Little on the tackle and called for the penalty. And that's going to set up the Eagles nicely here because they had an incompletion. So it's Ryan saying the angle of the body more like a targeting. Would that be related to the helmet or the shoulder in some way?
It's the elbow to the head.
Elbow to the head,
yeah.
Okay. So Jay breaks up the play, but a penalty on the play, and it's going to be 1st and goal, and it is called targeting. And college football fans know that a targeting call means a player has to leave the game and then miss part of the next game, depending on when the call happens. But Jay Little's still out there, so definitely not TSSAA rules to pull Jay out of the game here, which is good. 1st and goal from the 8. Horner in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers. Hands off this time to Colby Barone. And Colby Barone into the end zone for an Independence Eagles touchdown. Independence gets on the board first here. 6-0.
You can tell they're going to lean on this counter play. That's their bread and butter, and they did a good job there. It was stopped in the backfield, but we just didn't have him wrapped up. Broke the tackle and got free.
So Eagles on the board, 6-0. This is Ben Chassis, the senior kicker, out to attempt the PAT. Chassis' kick is up and good. So it's 7-0 Indy. Didn't see this coming, but honestly, Raptors have fallen down before. They were down at MRA. They were down last week. They know how to come back from this. But Ryan, you've mentioned some keys so far in terms of what Indy's done well to take the lead here. What do the Raptors need to do? Let's talk about defensively first. What do the Raptors need to do defensively to just slow down this attack here?
I'll tell you, Paul, from this angle, it is hard to tell exactly what the problem is, but I can almost guarantee you that someone is not fitting tight enough to their gaps. So typically when teams are running gap schemes, which is what powers and counters are, which we're seeing a lot of here, It's extremely important for everybody on the defense to fit as tight as they can to the inside half of the gap that they're assigned to. And if not, they can get very easily kicked out by the puller that's pulling around to block. So I think that's what's happening in these cases. I think on that last one, we had him wrapped up. We just couldn't make the tackle.
So Ben Chassie is going to kick it away here from the 40. Taylon Vaughn and Cy Longley are back to return the kick. It would be nice to see some momentum swing here on a return from Tay or Cy. Get a little something going here for Ravenwood.
We have yet to see this kicker kick, so let's see if he puts it in the end zone or if he gets us a chance.
Bit of a flat start here for Ravenwood. No excuses. Don't want to say anything about the short week or anything like that. We know Coach Rod did a great job getting these guys ready, treating it like a normal week. And Chassie's kick through the back of the end zone, a big kick. So Mav should take over at quarterback as they rotate drives at the 20. Try to get something going here. We've seen some interesting stuff this year from the new offensive coordinator, Hayden Davis. So we'll see what he dials up here. Drew Parker in at tight end, Caden Pace at running back, Tay Vaughn, Cruz Kelly, Maverick Chance at quarterback. Parker in the slot. Mav hands to Caden. Caden around the right end, and he's met right away, maybe after a gain of 1.5.
Great job by the safety coming up to make that play at the line of scrimmage. That was a long way for him to go. You know, whether we want to admit it or not, short weeks always affect us. And especially coming off a very emotional win last week, they are looking pretty flat so far.
Chance in the gun, hands to Caden again. Caden cuts to his left, stays on his feet. Speaking of tough runners, and did the ball come loose? Potentially. It looks like Ravenwood has it. Caden picked up maybe 2 more. And, yes, the ball was recovered by Josh Hosford, the center. Josh got in there. Looked like he had the ball at some point. I don't know if Caden was down already or if it was technically a fumble. 4 wide receivers, 3rd and 3. Ball on the 27. Maverick communicating, and he's going to take it himself. And it looks like he is close to the first down. I think they're going to give it to him. First down, Ravenwood. Finally moving the chains, Ryan.
Yeah, there's no reason to panic. Stick with the game plan. Run the ball. That's what we do best.
Davis Dolan now in the game at running back. Cruz Kelly, Drew Parker, Taylon Vaughn, and Jared Peterson, the pass catchers. 1st and 10, 10:15 to go till halftime. Maverick takes it himself again, this time left side, and he's got some space. Long way to run, and he's still on his feet. Picks up another first down. Long way to run to pick up 10 yards, but he got it. Got it done.
It's almost like he goes out of his way to punish defenders sometimes.
He sure does. And it is, speaking of being fun to watch, I talked about Jalen Pollard earlier. Maverick Chance, there's no one else like him. There really isn't.
No, he is an absolute blast to watch. You never know what's going to happen when the ball's in his hands.
So Maverick has the Raptors on the move. 9:54 to go till halftime. He's going to pass this time, and he's got Davis out of the backfield. Davis Dolan makes a couple defenders miss. He's a tough runner as well, and a lot of action for about a 3-yard gain there, but the Raptors moving it slowly but surely.
I'm always so impressed by Davis Dolan. He is small, to say the least, and yet so powerful and has such great balance. He's hard to take down, and it just doesn't make any sense with how small he is.
I mean, he's repping small people everywhere right now on my behalf because I'm small as well. Davis again on the carry, maybe picks up a half a yard. When you see Ryan and I next to each other, you just laugh because he's about, what are you, 6'3",
Yeah.
250-ish,
Somewhere
just
around there.
chiseled. And I'm about 5'6", 140, so when we play basketball together, it's a mismatch. Let's just say that. But back to Davis Dolan. He is definitely a hard runner, and he's still in the ball game. 3rd and 6, 8:53 to go, and Mav has a man over the middle. It's Vaughn, I believe. No gain.
Corner did a great job there of following Vaughn all the way in on this screen. That's what's called a middle screen or a jailbreak screen, really more specifically. And the idea is that we're trying to get Vaughn in behind the offensive lineman who moved down the field. That time he never made it there. The corner did a great job following him in.
So how big does scouting come into play? I know like these days we know everyone has everyone's film, so you can scout. And I have to imagine that coaches that put in the time and know what they're doing, and then players who actually know how to execute the game plan. That's the other part of it. Like, the coaches can be brilliant, but the players ultimately have to execute. Is that what we're seeing here tonight to a certain extent?
I mean, so to answer your first question, film study has become absolutely critical at the high school level, something that was not the case when I was in high school. You know, I watched film one time in high school. It was on a VHS. They rolled out in a TV. You could barely make out what was going on the screen. You know, the fidelity was terrible, and so it was really worthless. Now with technology the way it is, and Huddle, which is the online platform, you can really get tapped into what your opponent is doing to the extent that you'll change your whole game plan for it. You'll know all of their tendencies. In some cases, you know every single play that's coming up, and it really just becomes a matter of execution at that point.
So it's 4th and 5 for the Raptors. Offense is on the field. Ball is at the 48-yard line, just into Raptors territory. Maverick in the gun. Davis in motion. Maverick has Drew Parker for a big 4th down conversion. The senior tight end had a big catch a couple of weeks ago at Franklin. And Drew Parker, and there's a whistle with the flag on the play. So let's see what's going on here.
That was a very late flag. I'm expecting some sort of a dead ball foul. The first down should count, though.
So we're waiting for the...
Oh, that was a late flag.
So we see an illegal shift on the offense that typically is a pre-snap penalty, no? Or not necessarily?
Well, illegal procedure will often be penalized during the play.
Okay.
An illegal shift that comes off as a false start would be stopped.
Yeah, so a weird one to call it a shift. But the Drew Parker 4th down conversion is negated by the illegal shift. So it's going to be 4th and 11. Ball now at the 43-yard line. So here's Jack Henderson again. Other than the last punt, maybe I announcer jinxed him, but other than the last punt, Jack's had a great season.
Yeah, it's so important to have a punter that can flip the field.
Absolutely. So 8:09 to go till halftime. 4th and 10 for those of you wondering. Jack boots it away. This is a much better kick and a fair catch called for at the 10-yard line by Jordan Gray, the senior wide receiver. So great job by Jack there to give the defense a good shot here. Indy takes over at the 10.
Yeah, I always say the most important play in football is the punt because no other offensive play can net 40 yards.
That's a great point. Great point you made, too, about Huddle and the technology that's available these days for these young athletes and the coaching staff to empower them with information. And I'm fortunate enough to be part of the basketball coaching staff here at Ravenwood. We use Huddle a lot, and it's on the athlete to take the time. But, I mean, these guys are disciplined. They're hungry. They're great kids. This is Horner on 1st down, and he hands off to Garlington, and Garlington pushes the pile forward for maybe 6.
Yeah, to your point about film study, I'm so impressed with these kids and their willingness and dedication to film study. You know, as coaches, we can actually see how many hours or minutes they've spent watching throughout the week. And there are guys, you know, even in the midst of going to classes and taking tests and having some semblance of a social life, are still spending 10, 15, 20 hours on Huddle every week.
Yeah, the dedication is incredible. And the quality of play is incredible. 2nd and 3. Under 8 minutes to go now till halftime. Paul Hickey and Ryan Fowler with you on the Raptors Football Network. Thanks to Patton Cook in the booth and the students from the broadcast media class. at Ravenwood doing a phenomenal job. Happy to be part of this Raptors family. Horner in the shotgun. On second down, hands off to Garlington again. And this time, Ryan, it looks like we got Sutton gutting in the backfield first to take down Garlington.
Yeah, it looks like they're maybe figuring it out a little bit. Anytime you play a team like this that runs very, very tight splits and finds the smallest creases, you can't practice that exact same thing in practice. It's just impossible to replicate. So it does take a little time to adjust to it in the game time.
So the defensive line looking strong now. Sam Rowan, Sutton gutting, and there was a flag after the play. Unfortunately, Jalen Pollard called with an unnecessary roughness. So this is going to be 15 yards, I believe, giving Independence a first down. Just as we were talking about the momentum shifting on defense, we get called for a penalty. So 1st and 10 Eagles, ball on the 31, 7:15 to go till halftime. Yeah. Horner and 4 wide receivers in Garlington out there. Horner looks to his left and has Hendrix Harvey, the senior, and a half a dozen Raptors. Jalen Pollard, James Nelson, Matthew Anderson, Jay Little, Danny Brown, all taking down Hendrix Harvey, and it's going to be 2nd and 4.
As long as the corners continue to play off in coverage like this, I would keep throwing that ball out. You know, it's a guaranteed 5-6 yards every time.
Yeah, and if you're Indy, you're up 7-0 against who's one of the top programs in this. Do not try to control the clock. CPA tried to control the clock most of last week and did a great job against Ravenwood. And this pass complete at the 48-yard line from Horner out to Jordan Gray again for another Independence first down.
Great job by Horner standing in the pocket there and delivering that ball under intense pressure. Matthew Anderson had come off the edge, had his hands up, was bearing down on him, and he delivered a strike.
So Grant for Connor Shave, I believe. Hudson Husak, Matthew Anderson, Grant Lucas, the linebackers. Appleton, Little, Pollard, and Nelson.
See here again, we got the corners 8-10 yards off the ball.
This is Horner, hands off to Garlington. Garlington met Hudson Husak in there along with Matthew Anderson.
So really the last 2 run plays, they've shown a much different level of understanding of this run game. Let's see if that continues.
Yeah, other than the Pollard penalty, I mean, Horner did have a great completion to Gray, of course, but other than the Pollard penalty, I mean, this has been a much better defensive possession here for the Raptors. 5 minutes to go till halftime, 2nd and 10. Ball just across the 50 into Raptors territory. Horner hands to Garlington again, and Garlington met and slammed to the turf. Matthew Anderson.
It does seem that they're figuring this counter play out. You know, to your point earlier, we've had the last 3 run plays have basically gone for a total of no yards, maybe negative yards. And really that's what you want to do as a defense is make the offense one-dimensional by taking away the run. If they can make them one-dimensional, we have a chance at some more interceptions and big plays.
Big third down here. 3rd and 10. Ball, again, in Raptors territory at the 49. Horner in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Drops back to pass. And he escapes the sack. Gets back just past the original line of scrimmage. Sam Rowan, I think, had him in the grasp, and he escaped it. But nevertheless, good stand there by the Raptors defense. No gain, 4th and 10.
Yeah, Raptors defense doing a good job there getting pressure with just a 4-man rush, using some twists up there by the defensive line.
Yeah, Danny Brown looked like he occupied 2 offensive linemen on that last play, if I'm not mistaken. So that, even though Danny doesn't get there, that certainly contributes to the defense. Making on the 39. Ramsey and Tay Vaughn on the right side. And the handoff is to Caden. Caden goes right, cuts it back left, picks up a first down on 2nd and 4. So Raptors move the chains. 2:39 to go till halftime, clock running.
One thing I've never understood about the Indy defense is they play their D tackles off the ball so far. And especially with an undersized defensive line, that really gives our offensive line a chance to build up some momentum and really move the line of scrimmage before the running back even gets there.
Yeah, they're like a full yard off the ball. And Femi is going to run a little option here, delayed option to Caden, and Caden just kind of falls backwards for 10 yards. I mean, such good balance from Caden Pace there. He got hit, keeps his legs moving, picks up another Raptors first down, I believe. No, they're going to mark it just short. Sorry, 2nd and 1 here, Ryan. And Maverick Chance in the game now at running back. So we've seen Femi and Mav on the field at the same time several times this year. Really never last year, but it's been a formation that the offense has gone with. Mav in motion, running a wheel route. Femi across the middle to Tavon, complete. Big first down there for the Raptors.
Great job using Maverick there as a decoy, running him out to the perimeter and then throwing.
And Coach Rod uses his 2nd timeout of the half, so he'll have 1 left. 1:04 to go till halftime. 1st and 10 Raptors, ball on the 20. Ryan, big opportunity here. What are you thinking?
Well, first and foremost, score a touchdown, right? But then secondary to that is we want to use up as much of the clock as we can because we're going to have to kick off after the touchdown, and the less time that's left, the less chance there is for Indy to score. So I think Rod's talking here about what the next few plays will be so they don't have to burn another timeout if they don't have to. But ideally, we would use up all 1 minute and 4 seconds left and score a touchdown.
Love that plan. Raptors down 7-0. Again, we've been down a lot this season. It's not an unfamiliar spot. Raptors have gotten it done in so many different ways this year. We'll see if they go with Femi and Mav at the same time again, and they don't. It's Femi, Jared Peterson, Davis Dolan lined up as a wide receiver near side, Jeremy Ramsey. So if you count Davis, this is a 5 wide receiver set here. Femi in the shotgun, 1st and 10, looking left. Complete to Jared Peterson for a gain of about 4. So 56 seconds and counting now. And to Ryan's point earlier, Raptors hopefully in that huddle talking about what the next few plays are going to be, just confirming them now.
Yeah, no rush here. There's still plenty of time, especially with the timeout left.
43 seconds. Femi in the gun again, looking over the middle. Complete to Ramsey. Jeremy looked like he bobbled it, but he was hit and caught it. Indy saying they have the football, though.
Yeah, they did pull the ball out. I'm not sure if his forward progress had stopped yet. Let's see what they say.
It looked to me like Jeremy had the catch. He came down. We can't see from the booth whether or not he was down or he made a football move and then the ball came out.
No, he had the ball. He was running for the goal line, and then he got stood up. And while he was being stood up, someone reached in and grabbed the ball. But I think they're saying his forward progress might have stopped.
All right, so Indy was adamant that they had the ball, but the Raptors offense still on the field, so that's a good sign. Davis Dolan stays on the field at running back. Multiple wide receivers coming off.
Nope, they gave the ball to Indy.
They gave the ball to Independence. So just as the Raptors were threatening to score, Jeremy Ramsey with a fumble. Like Ryan described, though, more of a great defensive play by Indy than a Ramsey fumble, at least from our angle. But
yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you never want to give up possession of the ball, but it looked to me like he had both hands on it. He had good security. The defender was just able to stand him up and pull it away.
Yeah, the crushing part about this is that the ball's on the 1 yard line. So the Raptors were 1 yard away from essentially tying the ball game. If there's any silver lining here, it's that Indy just kind of has to push the pile and go into halftime. And that's what they're going to do. So Horner on the QB keeper, giving Indy a little bit of space, and no real need for a play clock here. Clock running out, 9 seconds remaining in the half. Both teams remain on the field, and we're going to go into halftime. Raptors down 7-0 to Independence. It's been great, though, having Ryan Fowler in the booth. A lot of game left. Raptors have been down before. We're going to be back in about 20 minutes on the Raptors Football Network. We'll have some stats. Ryan and I will talk about what to expect at the start of the second half here. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll be back in a little bit. Welcome back to Raptors football. We've still got about 4 minutes till halftime, but because I have the one and only Ryan Fowler with me, we're going to talk about some stats. We're going to talk about the second half. We were just playing the game off the air. Ryan, guess what stats I have in front of me? And he began with guessing Ravenwood's yardage, passing and running. And what'd you say again?
I believe I said 47 rushing and 40 passing.
Okay, so you're super close on both, but you're closer on the passing.
Okay.
37 net passing yards for Ravenwood, unfortunately. 10 rushing attempts for 60 yards. So we've run the ball for almost 20 more yards than you thought, which is good.
Nice.
Here's the problem, though. The problem is that we have 6 penalties for 53 yards.
Oof.
And we have only 5 first downs for a total of 97 yards. Those numbers are entirely too close together.
Yeah, so we have a net 40-something yards, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it.
So it's just, I mean, unfortunately, like we've talked about this a lot already on this broadcast. We've been down this year quite a few times. We typically, though, in those games, make something happen at the end of the first half. Unfortunately, tonight, when we were making something happen, the turnover happened. So the penalties and then that costly turnover.
Right. I think we need to make sure that we're not reading too much into that turnover. We were moving the ball at the end of the first half. I think it did seem that we had gotten into a rhythm on offense. I think also on defense we were able to stop the run the last few attempts. I think you're going to see a much different second half. I think we're going to run the ball effectively. I think we're going to stop the run, make them one-dimensional, hopefully come away with some picks.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, you know, certainly this team has it in them. They're one of the top programs in the state of Tennessee. 2 of the top quarterbacks that I've ever seen play. 2 phenomenal running backs, tons of other weapons, a great defense, great special teams. It's just time to start getting it done. Short week. You hit on it earlier. Like, I basically tried to brush it under the rug, but then you said, wait a minute, look, actually it actually does kind of affect things. We came out flat today, but to your point too, Ryan, like they started looking a lot better as the first half progressed. Femi's 3 for 6 for 35 yards. Mavericks 3 for 4 for 2 yards. Caden has 5 carries for 27 yards. Mav 3 for 21. Davis 2 for 12. Tavon has caught all 3 of his targets, according to my stat sheet, for 15 yards. Jeremy Ramsey has the 17-yard catch, and Davis has a 3-yard catch. So definitely not lighting the stat sheet on fire, but progressing throughout the first half. So quick props again to our production crew, Pat and Cook, and the students from the broadcast program. Ryan Fowler in the booth with me, Paul Hickey with you on the Raptors Football Network. We've still got about 90 seconds on the clock before the start of the second half. So we're going to go to our football expert, Ryan Fowler. Okay, you've broken it down nicely for us in the first half. Keys to victory here in the second. What do we need to do to get this thing done?
So I hate to say this because as a football guy, I want to talk about the X's and O's. I want to talk about the technique. I want to talk about the fits. But I can almost guarantee you that the conversation in the locker room at halftime on the Ravenwood side of the ball is, well, I gotta watch my language here. I'm sure Coach Rod was trying to light a fire under their butts. I think that this is not a matter of, hey, this is where the X's and O's go and you got to fit this right. This is a matter of energy. We're just really flat. You can tell the stadium is a little bit flat. It's a Thursday night. I don't think most of the student section isn't here, it seems like. It's just a different feel than I've felt most of the rest of the season and previous seasons. So I imagine that there was a pep talk at halftime that had very little to do with adjustments and had a lot more to do with energy.
Yeah, like, do you need it to be homecoming? You know, do you need the crowd behind you to focus and bring the energy, or can you guys do this yourselves? It is fall break week. There was ACT testing for the juniors. It definitely was a weird week at Ravenwood and probably the rest of Williamson County Schools. So it's like, hey, wait a minute, Paul. Like, Indy maybe had the same week we did, right? So, you know, I guess maybe that's something else. If I'm Coach Rod, I'm thinking about telling the guys they had the same week you did. So why are we flat and they're not?
Well, I don't know that they're not flat. Honestly, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of excitement going on out there really on either side. I do think that probably they had a similar talk at halftime, although their halftime was probably a little more positive because I doubt they expected to come in and be in the situation they're at going into the second half. That said, I'm wondering, when was Indy's bye week?
So Indy's schedule looks like this. I don't believe they've had a bye week yet when you look at the schedule. They had Rockville, Lincoln, Shelbyville. They've won their last two against Coffee County and Franklin. Although you're right, they did not. Okay, so their bye week was week 3, September 5th. So that was the week.
Okay.
Now I wonder, what I don't know is, was that a bye or was that a cancellation due to the weather? That was the weird weather week.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, but where were you going with that though?
Well, I was going to say, and it turns out that it's not going to be a factor, but if they had their bye this past week, then they've not had a short week. They've had an extra long week.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I think that what you hit a couple things right on the head. It's fall break coming up. Maybe some of the kids are looking forward to the fall break and I think it's a dangerous position to be in right now for Ravenwood, right? They come off of an emotional win against a very good team in overtime. It took a lot of energy. They celebrated it well. It was homecoming. It's hard to come back out a few days after that and not be excited to play a team of high caliber, which I'm not saying Indy isn't, but I think that maybe that's how they've taken them this week a little bit.
Yeah, and when you look at the other district opponents, they don't have winning records. I mean, Indy has a winning record. They've won their last 2 games. They beat Franklin 21-7 last week. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, this region is definitely down this year. There's very few teams with good records. Even Brentwood, who is perennially a powerhouse, is down this year. So Ravenwood is really the only cream of this crop, but they're not really showing it right now. And I would say that Indy is probably their last remaining challenge. I hate to say that because the way they played today, anybody could be a challenge.
Yeah, so Raptors will receive the second half kick because they did defer. So we're used to seeing that. Teams like to receive against us if they win the coin toss, and we like to defer to the second half. So Cy Longley and Taylon Vaughn will be back to return the kick here from Independence. Ben Chassis is the senior kicker that's going to kick it away here. And we're excited to see the second half of action after that, pretty poor first half. Not gonna lie, we're gonna tell it like it is here. The boys are obviously doing the best they can, but pretty poor first half. Too many penalties, negating big plays, or just extending Indy drives. So we hope to see the best of the Ravenwood football program here in the second half. So here's Chassis' kick. And it's going to go over Longley's head out of bounds. Another good kick by Chassis. So Ravenwood will take over 1st and 10 from the 20.
I'm looking on the sideline now, and I'm really looking for some guys that are jumping up and down and trying to hype everybody up. I see a little bit more of that now than we saw in the first half. I saw, who's that? Looks like Femi's patting people on the head. It looks like Brooks Brown is getting in there and butting heads with some people. So hopefully they have got a little fire lit.
So Maverick Chance will start the second half at quarterback. Cy, Gavin Macias, Cruz Kelly, and Taylon Vaughn are the wide receivers. Caden Pace in there in the backfield. We'll see what they do here on 1st and 10 to start the second half. Pace in motion. Mav takes it right side. He has a first down and a lot more. He's to the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Mav on his feet. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Raptors. Maverick Chance with an 80-yard touchdown run on the first play from scrimmage. Ryan, it looked like they ran Caden in motion out of the backfield, and then Mav just took it the other way. Talk about that as Guerra comes out for the extra point.
Well, look, that was a great individual effort by Maverick. He broke several tackles on that run. He looked like he was completely stopped after about 10 yards, spun out of it, and ran the rest of the way. Did a nice job of tightrope in the sideline there. That's exactly what this team needed to get going.
Big-time play, Maverick Chance, 80-yard touchdown run. Brooks Brown, the holder. Guerra's kick is up and good. 7-7. So 18 seconds into the second half, and Ravenwood's already tied the ball game. That's exactly what we all wanted to see here, whether you're at Ravenwood Raptors Stadium right now or whether you're watching from around the world at ravenwood.football. You're pumped to see that.
Paul, look at the sideline now. Doesn't it just seem people are moving around faster?
Yes.
There's like a little more energy. I see, where is he? Cy Longley was just running up and down the sideline, pumping his fist as he does. You know, it's important for these guys to get emotional. Football is an emotional game as much as it is about scheme and X's and O's. It's got to be played with emotion.
So when you create that energy, I mean, it was funny because you talked about, you're like, I'm looking for who's jumping up and down, creating some energy on the sideline before that play. And then that's exactly what happened. So football, creating your own positive momentum, big-time thing there.
Yeah, and don't underestimate the importance of body language. You know, I played with Tony Romo, and Bill Parcells used to get on him all the time about his slumpy shoulders. Now, Tony wasn't in a bad mood, and he wasn't lazy or anything like that. He just had weird posture, and Parcells used to go crazy about it, and it's because it matters. It's because as a quarterback, as a leader, people are looking to you to get some sort of indication of how we should all feel. And we need people like Sam Rowan jumping up and down. We need Maverick jumping up and down. And now you see them taking the field. You can see the skipping, right?
Yeah, look at Nelson skipping onto the field right now.
And that's what I like to see. When these guys are playing their best, Danny Brown and James Nelson are skipping in tandem. It's the funniest thing. I don't know if they even realize they're doing it.
I love it. Great energy now. 11:42 to go as Guerra's kick flies into the end zone for a touchback. The Independence Eagles take over with an 80-yard field here. Matthew Horner had a heck of a first half.
Sure did. Yeah, he surprised us with his legs. He made a lot happen with his ability to run and escape some of the traps that were set for him.
Ball on the 20. Horner in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers with Garlington over the middle. Ooh. Incomplete, intended for Hunter Mullen, and Mullen got lit up there. Was it Pollard on the hit there?
Yeah, Pollard is a heavy safety, and he hits hard. He's a great athlete. He understands the game. Looks like they both got a little bit of a shoulder ding. I think the receiver has left the field with a stinger.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. New man in the game for him. Big hit by Pollard. Incomplete, 2nd and 10. Ball on the 20. Garlington to Horner's right in the shotgun. Horner back to pass. Looks over the middle, complete. Receiver wrapped up by Pollard and Hudson Husak, and that's Jordan Gray. He's definitely been Horner's favorite target tonight. Junior quarterback to senior reliable wide receiver. First down, Eagles. Ball on the 38.
You know, there he goes again. I mean, this kid is actually really impressive. He's able to stand in there and find the open receiver. A lot of them have been over the middle of the field, which is a little surprising.
James Nelson back in the ball game now. Horner looks to his right, has a man complete. Nelson on the tackle, but a first down for Independence.
Ravenwood defense has not found an answer for that particular play yet. They seem to be picking up yards at will. It does seem that Indy has moved away from the run, and that is part of the goal. But, you know, a lot of these screen passes are really just an extension of the run.
Yeah, I was going to say that screen pass is their new run play right now. George Marbury on the catch, and first down Independence again. Ball on the 48. Still in Indy territory. And the handoff is to Garlington. Garlington untouched to the left, but a flag on the play. Garlington still on his feet down to the 35 into Raptors territory. Ryan Fowler says there is a hold. I see the flag.
Yeah, that was a pretty blatant hold. I think it was on our nose guard, 66. He did a good job throwing his hands up, showing the refs that he was making the effort to get off the block, and he was clearly being held around the shoulder pads.
Nathan Moser being held on the play, and that's part of the reason why Garlington had so much room and went untouched. So it's a 10-yard penalty, moving the chains back into Independence territory. So the ball's going to be spotted at the 38 of the Eagles.
Yeah, make no mistake about that. Moser was in perfect position to make that play and would have probably made the play had it not been for the holding.
1st and 20. Raptors pass defense needs to be on alert here. Horner drops back to pass, has a man complete, and the ball comes loose, so they're going to blow it dead incomplete.
Well, that's interesting. They're saying the pass is complete, and yet it's not a fumble. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, I mean, from my vantage point, it looked like the ball came loose right away, so it would either be an incomplete pass
Or a fumble.
But apparently it's a completed pass, and he's down. So actually a pretty big play there, 10-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 6 now. So actually a 14-yard gain on the play. Horner hands off to Garlington. Garlington met after about a yard, and he's pushed back. Possibly no gain here. Hudson Husak got there and drove him back. Powerful linebacker.
Yeah, he sure is. Him and his brother, I coached both of them at Lipscomb, and I've worked with them in the offseason. They're two of the strongest kids on the team.
I mean, they've put their bodies in a position where they can be, there are forces out there for this Raptors defense. And I have to imagine, if I'm unaware of it, I apologize, but I have to imagine they're getting some offers to play college football.
Yeah, sure. Both of them have gotten looks. I don't know that any of them have considered anything very seriously yet, but they have both been getting calls and letters and, the attention that they deserve.
So a 5-yard penalty here on Independence. Pre-snap penalty is going to bring it back, so it's going to be 3rd and 10, 8:48 to go in the third quarter. Ball back into Independence territory at the 48. Horner in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers, Garlington to his left. Back to pass. Has a man to the right. Another screen pass, and he's taken down. I believe James Nelson was there again first.
Danny Brown did a great job from his outside linebacker position there. The problem in this game so far has been the very middle of the field and intermediate routes, and then the very perimeter of the field and the very short throws. And part of that is Danny Brown and the outside linebackers getting out to make those tackles. Does a nice job there.
Danny Brown committed to Samford to play college football. It's 4th and 6. 8 minutes left to go. Independence going forward here, looking over at the sideline to get the play call in. Some confusion. Big 4th down here for the Raptors defense. Horner back to pass.
Oh.
And it's incomplete, almost intercepted.
Probably best that it wasn't intercepted. So we get the ball now at the original line of scrimmage. If Grant had made that interception, he might have got tackled before that. But, of course, you never want to give up that stat.
Just as good to get the ball back. Possibly better field position, as Ryan just said. So the Raptors will take over. Maverick Chance with an 80-yard touchdown run. Almost Marshawn Lynch-esque to start the second half. Very exciting. Here's Femi Babalola in at quarterback. He has 5 wide receivers on the field. And it'll be 1st and 10. Femi back to pass. He's going to air it out over the middle. Incomplete at Gavin Macias' feet. Femi seems to struggle on those over-the-middle intermediate routes, Ryan. I mean, he's extremely talented. We know he's going to Boston College. He's an amazing young man. I hate to be critical of him. He has an amazing go ball, but his accuracy on those passes over the middle just seems a bit off from time to time.
I agree. There just seems to be a little hesitation in his motion, a little hitch.
So this is Caden Pace with a little juke, and he has about 13 yards on 2nd down for a Raptors 1st down. Sticking with the run game, not a bad idea here, even in a 4 wide receiver set.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You've got an undersized defensive front 7 against a fairly big offensive line. Spread them out, get all the rest of the periphery away from them, and let's run over them.
Caden Pace in at lined up at wide receiver, rather. And this one's off of Cruz Kelly's hands, intercepted by Independence. And in the right place at the right time for the Eagles, Landon Greathouse. Not Femi's fault on that one. Right off the hands of Cruz Kelly. Cruz, probably the surest-handed wide receiver on our team all year. Couldn't bring that one in, and Landon Greathouse took advantage there. So Independence will have it in Raptors territory just like that at the 44. 7:01 to go, third quarter, 7-7 ball game.
Yeah, it was a good pass. Maybe a little high, a little behind, but definitely a ball that Cruz Kelly would normally catch.
So Horner's going to take over, and Ravenwood's defense got a slight breather, but they're ready to go. Raptors were moving the ball again. That's the second turnover of the game.
You know, if I'm the coach for either of these offenses, you know, for Independence, I'm throwing the intermediate routes. I'm finding the soft spots in the coverage. That has been open all day. It looks like the Raptors have figured out the run here. And if I'm the Raptors, I'm running the ball. And I might run it 10, 15 times in a row if it continues to work. I don't know why we're in such a hurry to move away from something that's working. Now, I know I'm not down there, and it's easy to make those calls from up here. So I have great respect for these coaches, and I know they're going to come up with the right answer.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, though. There's a 5-yard penalty on Independence. So on 1st and 15, Garlington gets it almost back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be about still 2nd and 13. So Garlington picks up 2. And, I mean, I was thinking the same thing. It's just it'd be nice to keep pounding it. Caden's hard to stop. Both of our quarterbacks can run. Davis is hard to stop. And I mean, we've got great pass catchers, but it felt like a run situation to me. I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm not a football coach by any means, but 2nd and 13, and Horner's pass, screen again over, and it's complete for a gain of about 4. And this is Marbury, George Marbury, the junior wide receiver. So Horner just steady Eddie out there, just getting it done, not rattled, under composure. 7-7 ball game, 3rd and 9.
I think they've made the mistake of not bringing pressure on these 3rd and longs. I think it doesn't look like they're bringing pressure again. Oh, yep, they will.
All right,
and
the pressure gets to Horner. His pass clearly affected there, and it's over the head of Hendricks Harvey. So it's going to be 4th and long, 4th and 9.
Yeah, I mean, on that play, you had Matthew Anderson coming off the edge, adding one more rusher to the mix. It creates a lot of problems for the offensive line. You could see that it was in the line of vision of the quarterback, and that affected that throw, no question.
You said it in the first half. This defense has been really effective in the second half all year, and they're coming up big there after the turnover. So Indy's punt, fielded by Jared Peterson at the 14-yard line, and Peterson has some momentum, gets it out to about the 23. Pretty good punt return by Jared Peterson. 5:27 to go, 3rd quarter, 7-7 ball game. We're probably going to see Maverick Chance in a minute.
Paul, doesn't it seem that if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, we're in good shape?
We are in control. Yeah. I'm feeling the same way. I'm feeling like it's a Raptors ball game right now. And Maverick Chance comes in at quarterback. Drew Parker at tight end. Cy Longley and Taylon Vaughn, wide receivers, with Cruz Kelly back out there. Caden Pace in the backfield. Especially with this personnel with Maverick and Caden, right? So Maverick is going to take it himself right side, and he's going to sort of skip and shuffle out for a gain of about 5.
That's all you need, Paul. You know, they used to say 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but Mav's picking up 5 yards a carry. Why would you ever go away from it?
Absolutely. 2nd and 5. Ball on the 30. Maverick hands to Caden this time. Caden doing the same thing there. Picks up about 4.5, I think. Nope, first down. He got all 5 that we needed. So we're moving the chains.
Paul, you think the coaches heard us?
What's that?
I said, do you think the coaches heard us?
They may
about
have.
Running the ball?
Patton Cook may have just
relayed that down.
Just switched the signals over into the coach's headset there for a minute, and they said Hickey and Fowler are right. Mav on the option to Caden. Looked to me, I mean, I can't tell from my point of view, but it looked to me like Mav would have been better off just taking that himself.
Yeah, he stumbled a little bit, and then the pitch was a little bit late.
I haven't really seen, Ryan, I don't know if this is actually the option, but I hadn't seen it until last week against CPA. where we were pitching the ball, and it looks to me like an option play.
Yeah, it's called speed option as opposed to like the traditional triple option. The triple option, there's a fullback that goes on a dive. The quarterback can keep it or he can pitch it. In this case, there's no fullback.
So Mav takes it himself here, left side, and it looks like he's maybe 2 yards short of the first down. We'll see where they spot it. But a nice carry there by Maverick. Switching up the run play, it's not the same run play every time, and it seems to be a bit of a different formation. Davis Dolan in the game now for pace.
Yeah, you know, normally an offense has 2 or 3 staple runs, and they run it out of several different formations so that it looks like many different things.
Handoff to Davis Dolan. He has some room. He's got the first down and more into Eagles territory at the 49-yard line.
So now what's that, 5 straight runs?
Ball at the 50. Ryan Fowler in the booth calling plays, saying, let's keep running it. Let's keep pounding it. 3.5 minutes to go, third quarter. I'm with him on that. Maverick in the shotgun. He's going to hand to Davis again, left side. Davis cutting, picking up a couple. And Caden Pace will spell Davis Dolan. Do you switch it up and do you pass at some point here?
Oh,
Ryan?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, they just stopped him, right? They were playing man coverage, which means they have a loaded box, 8-man box. You get that again, I'm going over the top.
All right, here it is, 2nd and 8. Ball in Eagles territory on the 48. Maverick, and they do pass. He looks to his right. He airs it out. He's got Cruz. Can Cruz get under it? He can. Touchdown, Raptors. Maverick chance to Cruz Kelly. 48-yard touchdown ball. And this place is hype. I mean, we called it. I have to say, we called it. And good football conversation with Ryan Fowler. Thanks to all of you for joining us here on the Raptors Football Network. I know we're all happy now. 13-7, breathing a bit of a sigh of relief here. First lead of the game for Ravenwood. Guerra looks to make it a 7-point lead.
Great play calling there by the coaches. You know, take what the defense gives you. Once they take away the run, they're in man coverage. We've got the receivers. Get up over the top.
Great pass by Maverick. Cruz kept running under it.
That was not an easy ball to catch. It was a great pass, but that thing was in the air so long, and Cruz did have to change his head position in order to get that ball. Great concentration.
Yeah, he had it over his left shoulder, and at the last second he had to go almost over his right shoulder entirely. Heck of a catch by Cruz Kelly. And if you're Cruz Kelly, man, you got to feel good about yourself right now after the last possession, where it wasn't necessarily his fault, because to your point, it wasn't a perfect ball by Femi, but it was a turnover, and now Cruz comes right back with an amazing 48-yard touchdown reception.
Yeah, a huge testament to his ability to put the past in the past and keep it there. You know, we say a lot of times in football, we got to have a short memory, especially as a quarterback. You throw an interception, it's very easy to start like hesitating and second-guessing things. It's important to put all that stuff in the past, learn from it, and then move on very quickly. Good job.
Absolutely. And Maverick, too, because he underthrew Cy in the first half, and good for him to come back and put one right on the money there to Cruz. Here's Guerra with the kickoff. 2:36 to go, third quarter. Raptors 14, Eagles 7. Paul Hickey on the Raptors Football Network with Ryan Fowler. In the booth as well, Patton Cook and the amazing Ravenwood students in the broadcast media class doing a great job on the cameras, on the production. And we love all of you out there joining us from around the world for Raptors football. Great kick by Carlos. It's going to be a touchback. So to your point, Ryan, it did feel like it was Raptors momentum. And we capitalized, and then there's James Nelson skipping out onto the field again.
It's a beautiful thing to see.
It sure is. We love these young men. They're doing a great job. They work hard. It's not easy being a student athlete, especially at a school like Ravenwood. You know all about that. Not only from your playing experience, but also from your coaching experience.
Yeah, and from my parenting experience, right? You know, I mean, I see what these kids go through. I have 2 daughters that have gone through Ravenwood. One played sports. One is extremely involved. Oh, good job, Grant. Yeah, so I mean, you have to have a lot of respect for these kids. It is hard work. It's obviously fun, but it's not like when we were playing. I mean, when I was in high school, everything was a part-time gig. Now playing sports is a full-time gig, along with the pressures of academia. You know, the scores that are required now to get into college are so much higher than when we were coming through school, and it seems like everybody is specializing in everything.
And that's why we love to see these guys having fun out there. I mean, they deserve it. And Horner's pass complete to Garlington for 3 yards on first down. It's 2nd and 7, ball on the 23. Here's Horner again from the shotgun. He's had a good game. He's going to air it out here over the middle, and it's picked off by Jalen Pollard. What a play. I mean, Jalen Pollard, Western Kentucky commit, goes up in front of two Eagles, from behind two Eagles, puts himself in front of them, and comes up with the ball. Heck of a pick.
Yeah, it was a great job by Jalen. He saw that thing coming the whole way. There was about 2 or 3 Raptors that were in the area, but Jalen went up and high-pointed that ball and comes away with a pick.
George Mabry, I believe, is the Independence Eagle that's injured on the field. We hope he's okay. Jalen Pollard, one of the best young men I've ever met. I really, really like Jalen, and he's just a big, strong, physical football player. And, I mean, you love to see him make a play like that. You hate to see somebody get injured on the play. We hope Mabry's okay. But a big play there for Ravenwood, so the Raptors will take over again. There's 1:45 to go in the third quarter. We're going to take a quick break here on the Raptors Football Network and be right back. We're having
Even picked up a couple yards with his legs. We saw that from Femi early in his career. He's gotten much better about making decisions, not in panic mode. We saw it a little bit there.
So let's see if the defense can come up big and get it back. This is Horner, hands to Garlington. Garlington picks up maybe 3. That should be it for the third quarter. We'll see if Indy goes with another play. 18 seconds to go. 14-7. Raptors coming off a 7-point win in overtime last week at home against CPA.
What a great game that was.
Second overtime win of the season, and that's it for the third quarter. Raptors up 14-7. Independence has it 2nd and 6 from the 32. When we come back, we'll take a quick break. See you in a second.
This game should probably be 28.
Yeah, at least 21, right? Because Ramsey's, and then probably one more.
Well, we've had what, 2 interceptions?
Yeah.
Give it up, right? He has a beautiful deep ball.
All right, we're back on the Raptors Football Network. Paul Hickey, Ryan Fowler with you. 2nd and 6, start of the fourth quarter. Matthew Horner has the Eagles in a one-score ball game. Here's a QB draw up the middle. Horner close to the first down. I think he has it. He does.
You know, they say football is a copycat sport. It worked. The quarterback draw worked for us. Indy shows it right there. In fact, they use a lead blocker on it. And that was a pretty nice run.
11:37 to go in the ball game. Ball on the 40, Eagles territory. Horner hands to Garlington.
Ooh.
And he's hit. Grant Lucas. They had to rotate in some backup linebackers due to the injury to Peyton Husak. Peyton was really starting to play some great ball. I mean, he started to be a standout for us over the last few weeks. Unfortunately, I believe has an ankle injury that happened last week against CPA. So here's Horner on 2nd and 10. Throws across the middle, and it's broken up. Great play by Matthew Anderson. It was in and out of the hands of Hendricks Harvey, but just for good measure, Matthew was there to break it up.
You know, once again, we're seeing the softness in the middle zone of that Ravenwood defense. I'm not exactly sure what the problem is, but you know that ball very well could have been completed for a first down. But luckily we get off. Matthew was in good proximity.
10:41 to go in the ballgame. 3rd and 10. This is a big third down. Eric Longley, the PA announcer, trying to get the crowd hype here. We need it. Horner back to pass, and he has a man on a screen. It's Hunter Mullen. Mullen doesn't have enough for the first. He's about 5 yards short.
Another great play there by Grant Lucas. You know, he's really stepped in for Peyton Husak, who's out tonight, and done a really good job. That last play was an incredible hit. That's the type of stuff that gets my blood boiling.
Yeah, so this puts Independence in punt territory, and it looks like the punting unit is coming onto the field. We'll see if they execute the punt. Peyton Rudiger will punt it. I believe Jared Peterson's back again, standing at the 20. High snap. Rudiger fields it, kicks it right to Peterson. Peterson calls for a fair catch at about the 24. I think Jared realized he could have returned that one, right?
Yeah, or maybe he forgot that he called for the fair catch.
It's like he got excited, I think, to take it back, and then realized, okay, well, still decent field position for the Raptors. Ball at about the 24.5-yard line here. 9:46 remaining in the ball game. Ravenwood still in the driver's seat, up 14-7.
Yeah, you get the feeling that the way they've been running the ball, they could use up most of the rest of this game clock.
Maverick Chance in at quarterback. 14 seconds on the play clock as the Raptors offense gets set. Play clock down to 7. Each team has 3 timeouts left. Raptors okay, get the snap off, hand to Caden Pace, right side. Really doesn't have anything, but he still creates about 3 yards with his end speed there.
I think we're going to have a couple holding penalties bringing this back.
So this one's going to come back. Gavin Macias checks into the ball game for Talon Vaughn. Holding on Talon Vaughn. 10-yard penalty. Pretty costly.
Yeah, it is. You know, the good news is it's still first down. We've still got the ability to run the ball, and with the yardage we've been picking up on these run plays. Now, I will say, it looks like Indy has either made an adjustment or found a way to stop this run a little bit very recently.
Maverick with Caden to his left. Drew Parker in the slot left. Maverick's going to do the option, pitches to Caden. Great job there by Mav, kind of waiting for the defender to commit to him and then pitching it to Caden for a gain. Not exciting football, but moving it.
Well, it's always exciting when the ball's in the air.
2nd and 14, pickup of 6 on the play.
Maybe not the right kind of excitement. You know, I do like that speed option play, but it does make me nervous every time he pitches the ball because that's not an easy pitch to make.
And he makes it look easy, but you're right. And it looks like Independence jumps off sides here, so that helps.
Good job using the hard count there to get back some of the yards he lost in the holding call.
So it's going to be 2nd and 9 now. Back in pretty good shape. Ball now back to the 24.5-yard line. 8:43 and counting to the end of this ball game. Peterson, Macias, Parker, and Kelly are the pass catchers. Pace to Chance's right. Handoff to Caden, left side. Caden 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Caden Pace. I'm tripping over my numbers, but Caden got in the end zone. Raptors up 20-7. Big time run, Caden Pace.
That was a beautiful job staying with the run there, having faith that that wall will eventually crumble if you just keep tapping away at it.
What an outstanding running back he is. We saw him as a sophomore last year light it up. Haven't needed him as much as a junior, but I mean he's still there to be like a top weapon for this team, and that was huge.
That whole Pace family has had running backs coming through this program for many, many years. I coached a couple of them, and they're all built about the same way, very, very strong lower bodies, very good balance, low to the ground, and Caden is certainly no exception.
Absolutely. So on Caden Pace's 6th rushing touchdown of the season, Raptors go up 20-7. Guerra makes it 21-7. Raptors up 2 full scores. Now, feeling much better, Ryan, with 8:18 to go in the ball game.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like we've got this as long as we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. You know, we continue to run the ball. The defense has been playing well. It does feel like there's been a sigh of relief in this stadium, and so let's just see if we can keep ourselves from hurting ourselves.
So Maverick Chance has an 80-yard rushing touchdown. That was his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. We just saw Caden Pace take it the distance for his 6th of the season. And Cruz Kelly has a 48-yard touchdown catch from Maverick Chance. Those are your 3 Raptors scores. And while it could be more like 28 or 35-7, it doesn't really matter. At this point, 21-7, 8 minutes left. All we have to do is get some stops on defense, and we're heading into fall break 7-0. It's premature for me to say that. Still a lot of football to go here, but Raptors up 2 full scores. Guerra's kick is going to sail through the back of the end zone again.
Don't worry, Paul. I had my fingers crossed while you were saying that.
Perfect. I don't believe in the announcer jinx, so I think we're good. Much more energy in this stadium now. The student section, you can hear them a little bit. Here comes the defense. Matthew Horner, Eli Garlington, Hunter Mullen, Hendricks Harvey, George Marbury, and Jordan Gray. Your Independence offense. 1st and 10. Horner looks to his left, has Gray, I believe, for 6 yards. It is Gray. Hendricks Harvey on the catch, and it's going to be 2nd and 3. Just under 8 minutes now to go in the ball game. Horner back to pass. Under a little bit of pressure,
Ooh.
gets it away complete, but
James Nelson again.
James Nelson?
Yeah, James Nelson came up from his cornerback position and laid the wood.
Big time hit by Nelson. It is a 1st down for Indy. First and 10, 7.5 minutes to go. Ball on the 30.
As a defense, I think we're happy to give up the short passes for now. We just don't want to let them go over the top.
Horner with backs flanking him, hands off. No gain on the play.
Nice tackle there by Connor Shave. Comes in for Hudson Husak. He's had a really good season, too. There's very little drop-off from the first team to the second team on a lot of these positions.
Yeah, Shave and Lucas have come in to fill in nicely at linebacker when needed, and great play there by Connor. Horner in the shotgun again. Looks to his right. Picked off. That's Connor Shave. We just talked about him. Big-time interception. He almost dropped it, but he held it, and there's a flag at the end of the play.
I didn't see the infraction, but that was a great play by Connor Shave. Getting to his curl flat drop as a linebacker and concentrating to make sure that ball came in.
Nice work by Raptors defense. Connor Shave, big takeaway there. Refs trying to figure out what they're going to do with this laundry, and should be Raptors football. 6.5 minutes to go. I'm hearing chatter of a block in the back.
After the play, personal foul on the intercepting team, number 9, 15-yard penalty.
So Danny Brown called for a 15-yard penalty. You know what that was, Ryan?
I didn't see it. I would imagine it was something late, maybe at the end of the play. He blocked past the whistle, but I did not see it.
Nevertheless, Raptors have it in Independence territory at the 46. Femi in at quarterback. Femi's going to run that option. He's going to keep it himself. He's under pressure, gets back to the line of scrimmage. His 6'4" frame basically falling forward got it back to the line of scrimmage for Ravenwood. Clock is ticking under 6.5 minutes.
It makes me nervous when he holds the ball out there like that. You know, both of these quarterbacks are such good athletes. It must be a nightmare for defenses to prepare for and play against them.
So hard to defend them. And 2nd and 11. 4 pass catchers. Caden Pace to Femi's right. Handoff is to Caden. Caden's going to take it right up the middle. 40, 35, 30. Still going down to the 28-yard line. Hard to stop Femi, Maverick, Caden, Davis. So Ravenwood has a 14-point lead, 5:43 to go in the ball game. 1st and 10. Ball at the 29. Maverick is in the game at running back. Yep. Handoff is to Maverick, and he picks up a few.
This is a much different football team with Maverick Chance back in the lineup. The first couple of games, you got the sense it was a slightly different team, you know, not as punishing. And the first time they put him in, he still had a cast on his hand. They put him in on a 4th and short, and he picked up the first down, and they got the whole crowd going.
Absolutely. Totally different ball club. And I get fired up when he's in there at running back. It's got to be so hard to account for both of those guys at the same time. And the pass is complete to Ramsey, but his knees down. It's going to bring up 3rd and 11.
Seeing a lot more of Ramsey this game, I feel like.
Yeah, he's been worked into the lineup a couple times in the second quarter, third quarter, and we're seeing him in the fourth quarter now. So, junior wide receiver. And with Charles Vlach out tonight, we've seen a lot of Drew Parker. Drew Parker, senior tight end, in there now. Femi drops back to pass, looks to his left, airs it out, has Cy wide open. Touchdown, Raptors! Femi Babalola to Cy Longley, 30-yard touchdown. Ravenwood goes up 27-7. Guerra's going to come on for the PAT.
This looks a lot more like Raptors football. Run the ball, soften the defense up, and hit them over the top.
Good to see Cy Longley on the board tonight. That's his 7th TD catch of the season. Heck of a senior year he's had so far. And that could be the icing on the cake right now with 4:21 to go. Guerra's PAT is up and good. 28-7 Ravenwood. This was a 7-0 game at halftime. Ravenwood, 28 unanswered points in the second half.
Yeah, this is much more of what I think we were all expecting from the start.
Raptors fired up to get this thing done.
For those of you who can't see, we've got Dr. Mason, assistant principal, down on the track dancing with the cheerleading team, holding his own.
And it's kind of safe to say none of this would be possible without Dr. Mason. He supports this broadcast along with Andy Elrod, Coach Rod, of course, Mark Hosford, Chad Appleton. You know, all those guys deserve credit for us being here tonight. Patton Cook, of course. So got to give love to Dr. Mason out there dancing with the cheer team. Love it.
He's having fun now too. Yeah, it really is an incredible community. I mean, the Ravenwood community has always been unique in my estimation. I've just never been around a school that has this much selfless parents and teachers and staff, and everybody's really, you know, there's so much teamwork and selflessness among this community.
100%. Guerra's kick is fielded in the end zone, so it's going to be a touchback for Indy. And I mean, we talked about 7-on-7 earlier in the night because you and I had the opportunity to coach together. And Matt Chance, Maverick's dad, kind of put all that together. Another great guy that just does so much behind the scenes to help this program. I mean, the amount of people that we could name is just off the charts. Kevin Gibson is another guy that we see around all the time. And I agree, Ryan. I mean, like, it's such great people throughout the community here. Here's Horner. 1st and 10 Independence, down 3 scores, 4:21 to go. Hands to Garlington. Garlington's going to pick up a first down. Pollard on the stop.
And I think apart from the 1 or 2 quarterback draws, that was the best run play for Indy of the half.
Yeah, for sure. Dallas Stallings now in the ball game for Ravenwood, junior defensive back. Great overall athlete, and you know, we're so deep, we haven't had to see Dallas much this year, but it's good to see him out there getting some reps. Horner's going to look to his right and pass complete. And this is his guy, Jordan Gray, for another first down.
Yeah, great throw there by Horner. That's a hard throw to make, that deep out. And he put it right on the money.
Yeah, that's a long throw.
Sure is.
Stallings on the stop. 1st and 10, ball on the 48. Clock running, 3.5 minutes to go. Starters still out there for Ravenwood, other than Stallings in for Appleton. Jay Little in for Sawyer Acres, but Little's played a lot tonight. Handoffs to Garlington up the middle, into Raptors territory for a gain of about 4. Pollard on the stop.
And Ravenwood has not called the dogs off yet. You see them blitzing there again. They're not going to rest on their laurels here.
Yeah, it's good to see them wanting to just finish this. I mean, they've got a week off next week. They do practice on Monday and Tuesday, but then they get some time off. Horner back to pass, looking to his left. Open again. I believe that's Gray. Hunter Mullen, rather, on the catch. Under 3 minutes to go now. 2:37. First down, Independence.
A lot of credit to this Independence offense and the offensive coordinator for finding these open receivers. You know, early in the game, it was over the middle of the field. You could see that Ravenwood made the adjustments to take away the middle and came up with a couple of interceptions. And now they're really attacking that deep out area of the field, and it's open for them.
They're moving the ball. They want to finish strong. Both teams do. This is Garlington up the middle for 3. Sutton Gutting is going to check in on the defensive line for Ravenwood.
I'll tell you what, Grant Lucas, he plays like a missile. I don't know that he's always in control, but when he brings it in that hole, it's a scary thing. And that goes all the way back to his days at middle school. He used to just wreck people in middle school, and he's like a bowling ball out there.
Nobody loves football more than my guy Ryan Fowler here. I love it. And Lucas McCollum has played tonight. He came out for Sutton Gutting. But, yeah, Grant Lucas, good to see. Another first down for Indy here. Got to give Horner credit, not giving up. Hendricks Harvey on the catch.
I just got to point it out again. Grant Lucas, again, just looking to take people's heads off. Fourth quarter, game in hand. He's not stopping.
Connor Shave comes off for a break for Ravenwood. 1:18 to go. Horner back to pass. Under pressure. Sam Rowan got there first. Danny Brown was in there too. Danny Brown was coming in. Horner didn't see him, and then Sam got there. Nice sack by the Raptors, and under a minute to go now. Danny Brown's going to come out.
I'll tell you what, Sam Rowan is having a heck of a year. I don't know how many sacks he has this year, but it's definitely in the double digits.
Well, coming into tonight, he had 7.5 tackles for losses. So I don't know how many of those were sacks either, but
Well, that's probably not including sacks.
could be. Rowan again on the pressure, and Horner gets it off complete. Hunter Mullen on the catch again. Hudson Husak on the catch, and Sam's going to come out of the game. Sam Rowan, great game tonight. Andy Elrod letting him know about it. Proud of that young man. Clock 17 seconds to go. This is going to be one of the last plays of the ball game unless there's an incompletion from Horner. Horner on his feet. He's going to run out of bounds. So it's going to be fourth down, and we'll see if they just – nope, 3 seconds left on the clock.
So, Paul, you're exactly right. According to these stats, which I will question because I have watched all of these games, and it does say Sam Rowan comes into this game with 6 sacks.
Yeah, 6 sacks and
tackles.
7.5 for losses.
But I think I've seen way more than that. Sometimes these unofficial stats aren't really the final word.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, there's 7.5 tackles for losses, but 6 sacks.
Yep.
So it could be plenty more than that for Sam. He's definitely impacted
No question.
way more plays than that. Horner's pass looks like it's picked off, incomplete.
Matthew Anderson hitting the quarterback just as he lets go of the ball.
That'll do it. Raptors win 28-7. Ryan Fowler, Paul Hickey, Patton Cook, happy to be with you here tonight on the Raptors Football Network. So Raptors go 7-0 into the fall break. Next game is Friday, October 17th at Shelbyville Central High School. You can catch that game on ravenwood.football if you can't make it out to Shelbyville. I'm going to toss it over to my partner real quick for any parting shots of the night. Ryan Fowler.
No, I just want to say I really appreciate you having me on this week, Paul. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad that we got to see the Raptors that we expected in the second half, and go Raptors.
G2 Bar. Have a good night, everybody.